really evaporates. And supporting her in the trial was one of the last things I was going to do for her.
Both Bob and Melissa Marriott know proving murder will be difficult.
How can you prove a murder without a body? I didn't think it was possible.
These jurors were among those selected to hear the case the state of New Hampshire had against Seth Mazelia.
After his rape and murder, the defendant conspired with Catherine McDonough to falsify evidence of his crimes.
The prosecution's case will hinge on the testimony of Kat McDonough, testifying as part of her plea deal. She's about to tell yet another version of what happened that night.
This is just the beginning where I've been able to open up and actually explain what really happened to her.
Kat now says Lizzie was murdered right before her own eyes.
Ms. McDonough, who killed Elizabeth Marriott?
Seth Mazelia.
The prosecution says Mazelia controlled Kat completely.
The defendant ordered, and McDonough was to obey without question.
Kat's earlier story that Lizzie's death was an accident was a lie, prosecutors say, to protect Mazelia.
Did Lizzie die accidentally during some form of sexual activity gone bad that she agreed to?
No.
Given her history of lying, was it a gamble to put her on the stand?
Absolutely. Attorney Andrew Katrupi represented Kat in her plea deal.
Her testimony was critical?
In my view, very much so. I think the government understood that there would be a decent chance that Mr. Mazelia would not be convicted without her testimony.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony?
The first 2 days of Kat McDonough being on the stand were raw.
Reporter Rod Doherty.
The stories of their relationship, sexual activity that went on.
Who introduced who to the use of ropes and sexual activity?
He was the one who brought the ropes in.
Did he and you engage in domination, master, submissive?
Yes.
She descended into such a dark world.
It's time I punished you, you filthy little whore.
Prosecutors read from a text message Mazelia sent 6 weeks before Lizzie's death, where he promises to punish Kat in explicit ways and commands her to find him another girl.
You choose a friend. Any of yours will do, and you offer her to me, that I may do anything I wish with her while you watch. Ms. McDonough, did your efforts to locate another sexual partner for the defendant intensify when you received that text message?
Yes.
And was that why you reached out to Lizzie Marriott and invited her over to the apartment?
Yes.
October 9th, 2012, the last night of Lizzie's life. Texts show that she arrives at Seth and Kat's apartment at 8:51 p.m.
And then we all started to talk about what we wanted to do.
They decided on a movie and, at Kat's suggestion, a game of strip poker. Prosecutors believe Lizzie had no idea she was being set up for a sexual encounter.
We all sat down and began to play. The lights were very dim. We were kind of just laughing. I ended up not wearing anything. She ended up in just her underwear.
And that's when Kat says Seth made his move to initiate sex.
Seth suggested that I should kiss Lizzie. She said that she wasn't comfortable with that and that she was in a committed relationship.
Kat says Seth made still another suggestion.
He asked her if he could have sex with me in the room. She said no, that she wasn't okay with it.
Kat says she could tell that Seth was getting angry after being told no, not once, but twice.
He didn't like to be told no. Seth was sitting on the futon behind us, and that's when he did it.
Kat says while she and Lizzie sat on the floor watching the movie, Seth quietly put on gloves and grabbed a rope.
He moved him up behind her, and he pulled the rope over her neck and strangled her. She let out a quick noise, and then she sort of stopped moving.
Yeah, do these appear to be the gloves that the defendant wore when he strangled Lizzie with a rope?
Yes.
The testimony is devastating for Lizzie's parents.
It's too much.
So difficult. There were times when Melissa Marriott couldn't even be in the courtroom.
She wasn't moving at all. She was completely limp.
And then Kat says, Seth did the unthinkable. He raped Lizzie.
Did she appear conscious?
No.
Did you tell him to stop?
No.
Did you go or yell for help?
No.
Nothing. Kat did nothing to save Lizzie's life.
You had disgust for the jurors. Take a moment. Judge, maybe we can take a break now.
I definitely have sympathy for Kat. I don't think she was in control of her her mind that night.
Do you swear or affirm?
Roberta Gherkin, a friend of Mazalia's, testifies she got a strange call from Kat at 10:49 that night.
Something was going on. They wanted my assistance, and they wanted me to come over there.
Roberta Gherkin and her boyfriend Paul Hickok arrive at the apartment a little after 11 p.m.
As I'm walking in, there's a body on the floor. There's a body on the floor right next to the bed.
Hickok testifies that Seth's explanation was vague.
All he kept repeating was, he's gone too far this time, he's gone too far.
Seth was sitting on the bed, basically where her head was. Kat was against the kitchen cabinets, almost in a fetal position.
The scene they described resonated with the jurors.
Seth sitting right there, rocking and saying, I went too far, I went too far. Whereas Kat's in fetal position in the kitchen.
Not wanting to get involved, Roberta and Paul left the apartment and never called 911. They did say they urged Seth to call an ambulance, but Seth Mazalia had other ideas.
Seth came over to me. I was still curled up, and he held out his arm to me, and he said, come on, we're in this together.
And together, Seth and Kat would descend down a dark and disturbing path.
Check out Sprint's Unlimited plan. Unlimited data, talk, and text for just $50 a month. Switch now and we'll even buy out your current contract. Visit us online or at a Sprint store today.
Let me get this straight.
Yes.
Lactate is 100% real milk.
Right, real milk.
But it won't cause me discomfort.
Exactly, because it's milk without the lactose.
And it tastes?
It's real milk. Come on, would I lie about this?
Lactate, 100% real milk, no discomfort.